I experienced going to heaven and seeing Jesus face to face in a dream that I had. One night I was sleeping and I felt like I went shooting through this light into this light tunnel and coming out into this heavenly space. I immediately saw Jesus off in the distance. I immediately was feeling the shame overtake me and I was like, I can't be in front of you. I was like looking at porn just yesterday. As he was walking towards me, there was this overwhelming sense of awe inside of him towards me. Like he was enamored to be in my presence. And this was like ripping through me, like this level of love that would say, I want to know you. I'm so excited about being with you. This sense of how much he felt that I was worthy undid me. And I found myself like I rolled up in a ball on the ground, sob crying, not because I felt condemned, but because I felt so loved for the first time in my life. I felt like this exquisite love that was never ending and it was choosing me 100%. I suddenly heard this thunderous voice that I recognized as the Father, as the Creator. And as it began to speak, I felt like every fiber of my being was being torn to pieces. The power of it was thundering through me. The booming voice that I heard said, he will never forget this. Jesus walks over and puts his hand on my shoulder. I felt the fullness of my being, not my physical body, but my being began at the beginning of time and stretched to the end of time. Like there was no time that I didn't exist. All of a sudden, felt like liquid love started pouring into my being. And I felt like I started traveling through myself. Again, like you don't have human words to describe heavenly experiences. I felt like all of a sudden I started shooting from the beginning of time to the end of time at light speed. And I could see, like in Star Trek or Star Wars, that when they shoot through space at hyper speeds, that's what was happening for my being. I'm flowing through with this liquid love. And I start having these profound insights about God and the fullness of the universe being like infused into me. And like my earthly brain didn't extract any of it. I remember being in it and being like, I don't want to forget this. I need to know all this. And again, I felt like I was going to shatter into a billion pieces as this is all taking place. And all of a sudden I come out of it and I stand up and I see Jesus and he's just smiling at me and he speaks to me. It's like telepathy. I just knew. You just know what each other is saying. Words aren't enough. He told me he wanted me to follow him and go with him to this area. And we came up to a couch that like was big enough for 4 people. And at the far end were 2 teenagers. And then Jesus sat down and he has me sit down next to him. And teenager on the far end, he's just having like a life meltdown. And he's just like, I don't know if I believe in God. I don't know if God's real. I don't know what I think. What do you think? And he's having this conversation with his friend and he has no conclusions. And his friend is like, man, I don't know if I believe in God either. I don't know what I believe to be true. I don't know what I feel. And he's working through his stuff. And then he looks at Jesus and he was like, what do you think? Do you think God is real? Do you believe in God? And then Jesus just looks at me with this big smile on his face and he communicates to me, I love this. I love being present with them. I don't feel the need to jump up and say, I am God. I'm Jesus. He was like, I don't need to do that. There was this full peace inside of his being with zero agenda to get them to understand who they were sitting with. He just wanted to be in the presence of their curiosity. There was this thing that happened inside of me as it's going on. And I'm having this understanding that love is agenda free and love is being present in the midst of someone's story as they're evolving in their journey and they're having their encounters with God, whether they're on this extreme end of religiousness that I completely disagree with their perspectives or they're landing where I'm at. It just doesn't matter where they're at in their journey. It's like, can you be present with the individual, not make judgments about where they're at in their journey and be kind and patient and gentle with them and explore with them their thought process. So I come out of that dream, like I got sucked back down into my body and my eyes are full of tears and my pillows are drenched in tears on each side. And as I'm laying there, I can feel like this thick hovering presence over my body that is what I would define as the presence of God. But it's like this weighty air that's all on top of me. And I can feel it's energized with love. That moment was this shifting into every moment going forward with deconstruction or trying to figure out who God was. I'm like, no matter what, I know I've met Jesus face to face. I've met the Creator. I've met the radically loving being that is so personable and adds worth to all of humanity. And you couldn't take that away from me. And I know that's not relatable to a lot of people because they're like, I haven't had that happen. But I'm just saying, I hung my hat on that moment and I said, all I know is that love is real. God is real. Jesus is real. For me, this is real. And this is my pillar, is that no matter what gets torn to pieces, I know that I can hold on to this for me. And this is authentic and real to me. And I'm going to base everything off of that moving forward. And all my belief systems, as I start grabbing hold of something new that I feel is like a new truth, I'm like, but does this align with the law of love? No, it doesn't. Then I'm off somewhere. I'm off somewhere in either how I see it or its foundation at the core of it. It's rotten. Something is if it's not aligning with love and producing love.